Hi, I'm Tanish Gupta, and this is my digital story. Over the course of the semester, I was lucky enough to complete an internship with Metcash Limited as a logistics intern. I would like to give a special thanks to Linda and Adriana from TMR for making this possible. Now you might be wondering, who are Metcash? Rather than the parent company, you might recognize some of their subsidiaries. Metcash are the owners and logistics suppliers of IGA, ALM, which encompasses Celebrations and Bottle-O, and other brands such as Mitre 10 and smaller independent groceries. Basically, if it's not Coles or Woolies, Metcash supplies them. Metcash prides themselves on being successful independents, and it is this commitment that put them on the ASX Top 100. When I got the call saying that I was going to work for Metcash, I didn't know what to expect. All I knew was that I would be focusing on the food and grocery division and that I would need a high-vis jacket. So off I went at 4 a.m. in the morning to my first day in a real job. It was there that I met the lads I would get to know over the next few months. Why is the picture blurry? Well, for a bunch of grown men, they were all camera shy when I asked for a picture. My internship with Metcash was primarily focused on shadowing the managers around the warehouse and understanding what they do and how they do it. Now, the warehouse in Brisbane is huge, so it took me a while to rotate around. They first started me where almost everyone starts, on the floor as a picker. Pickers are the backbone of warehouse logistics, and starting me off here was actually a great decision. It allowed me to become friends with the floor staff and learn more about the company from the bottom. This is kind of similar to an undercover boss situation, where I learned all the good and bad stuff about the operations. I developed a deep respect for the pickers and floor staff. Keeping to a schedule while picking is not an easy task. What's interesting to note is that the majority of managers who work for Metcash actually started as pickers and worked their way up. This simple yet effective strategy really helped build the friendly culture amongst the staff. After picking, I rotated around the different facets of Metcash. I worked in inventory management next, ensuring that goods were received and stored, as well as dealing with damaged stock. Working with inventory proved interesting, as there was a delicate balance that needed to be maintained between receiving goods and the amount of space available to place goods. While working with perishables in the frozen goods section, I got to participate in a warehouse stocktake. I had never done one before, so I was interested to see the procedures in place. While a regular stocktake is long and tiresome, doing one in a frozen warehouse proved interesting as everyone was rushing to stay warm. Over the course of a Saturday morning, the stocktake was completed in just under 6 hours, and everyone could go home by 9 a.m. Next up was cross-docking and convenience. This section of the warehouse was being renovated to include automation, since it was a very delicate portion of the operations. While theory states that cross-docking adds value to a supply chain, it is also very costly and requires well-trained staff, something that Metcash has plenty of. I spent a lot of time working in the security section of the warehouse. The security section has been dubbed the cage for its cage-like looks, which I sadly couldn't get a picture of. Stored inside are the high-value goods such as tobacco and dangerous chemicals. Managing these goods proved to be a full-time operation, as a simple mix-up in items, say for example a sleeve of cigarettes, could cost Metcash over $1,000. My last rotation involved collaborating with transport and deliveries. I had always wondered how logistic companies manage their transport schedules, and now I have my answers. It requires close communication with transport partners to coordinate deliveries. We had one situation where a transport truck took off from Metcash with an empty load and did not realize their mistake until they reached their destination. Dealing with that situation proved to be both sticky and interesting. Now, my time at Metcash wasn't all work. Being a very bro culture, what's more exciting than getting swole at the company gym? Nothing. My arms still hurt thinking about what they put me through. I also got to assist in preparing the hampers that could be won by floor staff in a weekly raffle, so long as they met their performance quotas. During my time at Metcash, I came to learn a lot of life lessons. One of the biggest challenges I came across was time management. I had to wake up at 4 a.m. and drive through morning traffic to reach Metcash on time. This forced me to fix my timetable and develop better habits like sleeping on time. This internship also assisted me with uni work. While working, I was simultaneously completing a logistics subject, which had a lot of crossover with what I was doing at Metcash. Any questions I had could be answered by any one of the managers. The boisterous culture in Metcash was intriguing and stood out to me. Being used to a strict corporate environment, the laid-back and friendly nature of Metcash made me take a step back and think about my situation. Everyone here were friends and were meeting, if not exceeding, their targets. It just goes to show that I was naive in thinking that all workplaces would have a homogeneous culture. My number one tip for interns doing this subject is to just be yourself. You're doing this internship to gain life experience and gain a taste of the working world. Your focus should not be to impress your boss and try to get a job. While that's nice, this internship really gives you a chance to test yourself and find any flaws in your work ethic while you still have a chance to fix them. Thank you for listening to my digital story.